I wanted to fact check a recent talk by governing body member Stephen Lett. This is from the 2023 annual meeting.
As we know, that chariot mentioned in Ezekiel chapter 1 represents the heavenly part of Jehovah's organization. Well, what is the speed of Jehovah's chariot? Now, a flash of lightning travels at 186,000 miles per second, the speed of light.
So lightning travels far slower than the speed of light. That's because lightning is actually an electrical discharge, not a beam of light. It is true that the light from the flash of lightning travels to your eye at the speed of light, but he seems to be discussing how fast lightning travels through the air. Otherwise, it would basically be like saying that Jehovah's chariot travels as fast as a person carrying a candle as they walk along the road. How fast does lightning travel through the air? So lightning typically travels first from the cloud to the ground rather slowly, and then returns quickly from the ground back to the cloud. It's actually that return trip that we see as a bolt of lightning. The speed down to the ground varies widely depending on atmospheric conditions, but the National Weather Service says an average speed would be 50 miles per second. The return stroke is much faster, about 56,000 miles per second, or roughly 30% the speed of light.
But if we think about it, Jehovah's chariot's a lot faster than that. In fact, we could say it travels at the speed of thought, at the speed of Jehovah's thought. And obviously, that would be immeasurably fast.
So Lett first mentions the speed of thought, and then more specifically, Jehovah's thoughts. Now, it could be that Jehovah's thoughts occur at some magical speed that defies the laws of the known universe, and that's something that's unfalsifiable. But we can address the speed of human thoughts. Lett implies in his talk that the speed of thought is the next level, much faster than a flash of lightning. Is that true? Actually, the opposite is true. The human brain has roughly 85 billion neurons, these interconnected nerve cells. And how quickly do they communicate with each other? Well, again, we run into the problem that the propagation of a signal down the length of a neuron is an electrical impulse. It is not a beam of light. Further, unlike plugging a light into an electrical outlet, the signal is passed on by a series of chemical reactions called an ion cascade, triggering one after the other down the length of a neuron, much like a row of dominoes falling one after the other. How fast does it travel? Well, it varies, but the fastest neurons in the brain can transmit a signal at about 100 meters per second. Now, that's much faster than the fastest human can run, but the speed of neurons in the brain is incredibly slow compared to a flash of lightning, and is no comparison at all to the speed of light. You've probably noticed this yourself when watching a movie. A movie is actually a series of still images displayed rapidly one after the other, and they display on the screen more quickly than the brain can process them. The result of that relatively slow processing speed in our brain is the illusion of continuous motion on the movie screen. So on the one hand, we could draw the conclusion that Lett knows these scientific facts and is using them to make the point that Jehovah's chariot, his heavenly organization, is actually very slow and moves at a lumbering pace. On the other hand, we might conclude that he has very little scientific knowledge, and this talk is just a reflection of that. And I don't want to sound like I'm shaming him. Until I took my first anatomy and physiology class in college, I also believed that thoughts were transmitted in the brain at the speed of light. Maybe the real lesson he's trying to teach us is, kids, go to college.